Hello everyone, it's your casual gamer Meep here, and today I'm going to be listing what I think are the top 10 killer perks in Dead by Daylight. With my 4,000 hours of playtime, this list is my opinion from my experiences. Take it as a grain of salt, and comment below if you agree or disagree with my choices down below, and subscribe for more content. Here we go. Starting with number 10, we have Corrupt Intervention. It's a straightforward perk as it blocks the 3 furthest generators from where you spawn in the trial for the first 2 minutes of the game. Overall, it's a good perk to reduce the size of the map in the beginning, and can block survivors from working on generators as soon as they spawn in. There's really only 2 downsides of this perk. The first is if you spawn in the middle, then the gens blocked might be scattered in different locations across the map, and not being concentrated in one area of the map. Second is that survivor spawns are RNG, and they can still spawn by generators that are not blocked by Corrupt Intervention. With that being said, it's still a good consistent perk for a lot of killers. Coming in at number 9, we have Hex Rune. Hex Rune is a Hex totem perk that, while active, causes generators to instantly start regressing whenever survivors let go of it, and at a rate of 200% the normal regression speed. While this perk can be very powerful, especially when combined with other perks, on its own it has several weaknesses, and that it's a Hex totem can be broken and deactivated anytime during the trial, including within the first minute. Going off from that, at the start of the trial, if a survivor lets go of a gen at the start, they're going to be notified that as a killer you're running the perk, and will most likely start looking for the totem. If it does stay up, however, it can buy you a lot of time, pushing survivors off generators and reaping its rewards. At number 8, we have Whispers. Whispers is a solid tracking perk that all killers can gain from the blood web, as it is a non-teachable perk. Whenever a survivor is within 32 meters of your current location, the perk icon will light up and occasionally you'll hear the auditory whispers of the entity speaking directly to you. This is a great perk for finding survivors at the start of the trial and finding them in certain situations. For instance, if you have 2 survivors left and you've slugged one of them, you can use Whispers to pinpoint the location of the last survivor. The same goes if there's only one left and you want to prevent them from escaping through the exit gates. During the trial, you can use it to find out what generators are being worked on around you, as whenever you get closer to generators, it may or may not light up, which will indicate if survivors are working on it. The only downside to this perk is when you get a map with multiple levels like Haddonfield, the game, Midwich Elementary School, and the new Raccoon City Police Department. Overall, it's a universally good perk for all killers though. At number 7, we have Sloppy Butcher. Upon successful M1 attacks, it inflicts the hemorrhage and mangled status effect on the survivor who was hit until they are fully healed. For those of you who don't know, hemorrhage increases the rate at which you drop pools of blood on the ground, making it easier for you to track survivors. This is an okay part of the perk, however, the real strength in it comes from the mangled status effect, which increases the time it takes to heal by up to 20%. Aside from doing generators and traveling between them, survivors are going to be spending most of their time healing against the majority of killers. Increasing their healing time means it'll take them longer to get back on generators, which can buy you precious time as a killer. This increased time to heal also means that it'll take longer to pick up slug survivors, and so it can be effective in slugging situations. Overall, it's a solid and consistent perk without being overpowered. It's a perfect balance. Number 6, we have Save the Best for Last. Save the Best for Last is a strong perk for killers who rely on their M1 attacks to do damage. Every time you hit a survivor who's not the obsession, you gain a token. Each token decreases your successful basic attack cooldown by 5%. You can earn up to 8 tokens, so you can reduce your cooldown by 40% overall. Each time you hit the obsession with your M1 attack though, you lose 2 tokens, otherwise 10% of your cooldown. This perk requires some tactfulness when using it, such as avoiding hitting the obsession lest you lose stacks. If you use it on a killer that can attack with their M2, such as the Pig, Demogorgon, or Pyramid Head, you can use it to preserve your stacks while pressuring the obsession. The real impact of decreasing your successful attack cooldowns means that once the animation finishes faster, you can catch up to the survivor and thus potentially end the chase even quicker than normal. Moving on to number 5, we have Infectious Sprite. This perk can be very powerful and game-changing. Each time you put a survivor into the dying state, if a survivor is within your terroriators, they will scream, revealing their location for up to 6 seconds. This perk is best used on high mobility and or high lethality killers, such as those who have insta-downs or are able to maneuver across the map really well. If the perk does show someone's inside your terroriators, you can choose to leave the person on the ground who you just downed, and then chase them in order to apply pressure. The information that this perk gives you basically can tell you when it's safe to pick up a survivor, whether you're concerned about flashlight saves or pallet stunts potentially. There's really no downside to this perk, as the only killer who doesn't really gain a lot from it is Freddy, because if survivors are in the dream world, they won't be affected by Infectious Sprite or other Terroria's perks. Otherwise though, it's a really great perk with very little downside. Getting into the top 4, we have Discordance. Discordance is an excellent information perk, as anytime 2 or more survivors are working on the same generator Getting into the top 4, we have Discordance. Discordance is an excellent Getting into the top 4, we have Discordance. Discordance is an excellent information perk, as anytime 2 or more survivors are working on the same generator, anywhere on the map, we receive a noise notification, and then the generator is highlighted in yellow for us. If the survivors do let go, it'll stay highlighted for a few more seconds. Discordance can work on 2 separate generators telling you where all 4 survivors are as well. The information it gives you can allow you to make important decisions like at the beginning of the trial, as you can go and pressure multiple survivors at once. And if there's only 3 generators left, you can use the survivors from stacking on the generator at the very end. Overall, there's no downside to running this perk, and it's universally good on all killers, as generator information is very powerful. Coming in at number 3, we have Hex Devouring Hope. This hex is one of the token-based hex perks that exist in the game. Each time a survivor is unhooked and we're more than 24 meters away from the hook, we gain a token. After the second token, we gain a speed burst after leaving the hook for a few seconds. Really, after the third token, however, is where it really gets on. Survivors will suffer from the exposed status effect, thus allowing us to one-shot them, but they're also notified after we attack someone first that we have the perk activated. If we get to 5 tokens, however, during this time, we can start mooring survivors even if they haven't been hooked. This can be very powerful and allow you to snowball to victory. However, with all Hex Totem perks, this can break at any time during the trial, meaning it can break at the start of the trial, or it can break after 1 or 2 tokens. Survivors will start especially looking for it after you gain the third token. This truly is the definition of a high-risk, high-reward perk. At number 2, we have Quiz The Weasel. Every time you hook a survivor for up to 45 seconds, the next time you cook a generator, it'll instantly start regressing by up to 25%. This is a pretty straightforward perk, as it rewards the killer for doing their objectives of hooking survivors and sacrificing them. This perk is universally good at slowing down games with its gen regression power, and is seen quite a bit in killer perk loadouts, especially if they're not using Hex Rune or Hex Undying as well. Coming in at number 1, we have BBQ Chili. Every time you hook a survivor, the aura of all survivors further than 40 meters away from you will be revealed for 4 seconds. This is a pretty strong effect, giving you the direction of where to go after hooking a survivor, so you can go and push survivors off generators, catch them off guard, and pressuring more of their team. BBQ Chili also has another powerful effect, but it's outside the match, and that is each time you hook a different survivor for the first time, you gain a stackable token, up to 4 max. Each token increases your blood point score post-game by 25% each, meaning if you hooked every survivor once, you will double your score at the end of the game. While this effect doesn't help you in the game, earning more blood points is universally a good thing, and the more the merrier, especially if you're a beginner and you're still unlocking perks, and as a seasoned player who wants prestige characters as well. Just like Quiz The Weasel, it rewards you for doing your objective, and aura reading and blood points are never not useful in Dead by Daylight. So, after going these 10 perks, let me know in the comment section below if you agree or disagree with this list. What other perks would you have put in the top 10 best perks in Dead by Daylight for killers? Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you'd like to keep up with me for more videos. I am Meep3, and remember the 3 Gs. Good games, good luck, and goodbye for now.